Hey guys, how's it going? This is Khan, Mr. So Real, and welcome to this week's Good or Garbage, #1 place where you can come and find out what is being sold and what is worth your time in the division on a weekly basis. Now this week's video is coming to you extremely late, and that is because my computer had some serious issues and conked out on me, and all of my data got corrupted after I recorded everything. So thanks to everybody who held me down, who checked the Twitter and knew that everything went really wrong. You guys rock. So why don't we get into this and let's get started. Let's go. Alright, starting at the special blueprints vendor, we have the classic AK-47, the classic M60 light machine gun, the stamina mask, the stamina knee pads, the compensator blueprint, and the Omega rifle suppressor. This has reduced threat and increased headshot damage. We also have the performance gear mod, and we have the stamina gear mod. These are all of the blueprints that you can buy this week, so check it out if there's anything that really interests you. The special equipment vendor this week has the Cassidy shotgun with commanding, determined, and boomstick. He also has the historian with 155% headshot damage. This one comes with swift, brutal, and history repeats. He has the centurion pistol, this one with harmful being a really good talent to have on a pistol. If you're running the Liberator, this is the perfect time for you to pick up one of these sidearms so that you could also have harmful on it. I think I may end up picking one up, but we'll see. 1,331 credits is quite a lot. Then we have the Liberator with 22% enemy armor damage. The base damage on it is a little bit low. It's about 2,000 damage with this character under its the highest it can go. And the talents on it aren't that great as well. We also have commanding, accurate, and we have talented. The Pecan light machine gun has self-preserved. It also has vicious, and the Pecan talent, it has 13% damage to targets out of cover. And moving on to the regular yellow weapons, we have the X45 pistol. We have the PP-19 submachine gun. This one is a pretty good one, I would say, with 22% critical hit chance. We have a base of 22.7, responsive, competent, and hurried. Responsive, competent together are a pretty nice little mix. If you can get adept in the third slot, you pretty much got a god roll PP-19 in my opinion. Then you have the military AK-47. This thing basically has brutal, it has swift, and it has accurate. If you're looking for something like this, the base damage seems a bit high, but I'd have to check that out. 22% enemy armor damage is still very nice though. The M870 shotgun is also being sold with meticulous, self-preserving, commanding. I would probably pass on that. The M700 carbon with 160 headshot damage, harmful, skilled, and elevated. Not a big fan of this, although the base damage is kind of nice looking, but still I don't think it's worth it. The light machine gun for this week is the military MK46 with prepared, swift, and brutal. Brutal is nice, swift is nice, but prepared on this thing is kind of hit or miss. Some people like it. They like hitting from long range with these things, and I do agree it is nice, but with 100 rounds in the mag, I'm sure this thing is going to probably be all over the place, so take it with a grain of salt. Now when it comes to the mask, there doesn't really seem to be too much going on that really stands out for me personally, so I'm not really highly recommending any of the masks, although I am recommending that the Predator's Mark chest piece does seem to be pretty nice with over 15,000 health. It comes with 8% skill haste, and the armor on it is pretty nice at 1973. The Banshee Shadow Armor chest piece is also a nice little runner-up if you don't mind. The ammo capacity being only at 47% and then having health on kill. The armor is a little bit lower, but it's still respectable if you do need a Banshee piece. The bags, on the other hand, nothing really super amazing. If you are looking for an invented bag, this could be a decent one to have with 1,248 armor. Then you have 12,000 skill power, 12,350 skill power. Unfortunately, there's no ammo capacity, and then you only have the sorry disrupt resistance, which is kind of sad. Now moving on to the knees, there's really nothing that stood out for me this week for the knees, but you know, you guys can take a look and see if there's anything that works for your build. Same thing with the holster, nothing really amazing that stands out with these holsters. I like to see the holsters be at least over 1250 a piece, and when they're not, I like to kind of push them off to the side. The gloves, again, there's nothing really amazing with these gloves as well. And then when it comes to the mods, the turret damage is probably the only good one to get out of the two. So if you are rocking the turrets, you get 4% turret damage. And when you get to the mods, the only good mods I would say this week are the SR7 suppressor with 18% critical hit damage, 3% crit chance, and 2% accuracy with a whopping 50% reduced threat. I think that's pretty good. And then we have the scope with 18% damage, 5.5 headshot damage, and 2% accuracy. So if any of this stuff really is something that works for you or your build, let me know what you guys decide to pick up, and let's see if there's anything else really worth talking about in the rest of the base. At the advanced weaponry vendor, there isn't really a lot to see here, but for this week I would probably say my recommendations would definitely be the tactical SASG 12. This shotgun has 342% stagger, some pretty decent base damage at 118 with this character. The talents on it aren't too bad with deadly, self-preserved, and vicious. If you don't like vicious, you could always roll that off for something a little bit better suited for you. And if you don't like self-preserve, you could always roll that off and maybe go for something that gives you even more crit. All of these synergize pretty well together. Deadly giving you more damage with crit hits, self-preserve giving you health when you get crit hits, and vicious giving you more crit hit chance if you have health. So self-preserve giving you health, vicious giving you more crit chance if you have health, and then deadly giving you that damage. It's a pretty nice little three-piece if I don't say so myself. Now getting on, there's the hunting M44. The headshot damage is only 160, but that's still pretty good. Comes with harmful, unforgiving, and prepared. Prepared and unforgiving I think are a pretty nice little combo. You may want to put deadly, or sorry, you may want to put brutal on for harmful, and that would probably be a really nice little three-piece. Now moving on throughout here, we don't really have a lot to see. The best thing you probably get is this reflex sight with 7% crit hit chance and 4% crit hit damage and 2% accuracy. If you pick up any of these things like the shotgun or the hunting M44, let me know. Some of the other weapons just don't really cut it in terms of their usefulness, but the Vector might be something you want to look at. The base damage on it is pretty nice, but talented, vicious, and deadly. Deadly is nice, but I'm not too sure about vicious and talented. You may want to do something about that, and the crit hit chance could be a little bit better, but again, the base damage is pretty nice, so think about it. Now over in the Dark Zone vendor at the base, he does have a prototype performance mod that has 4% sticky bomb damage, and those sticky bombs are not really all that they could be, but they probably will make a comeback sometime in year 2. So you may want to stock up on these just so you don't have to roll 100 million of them just to try to get something worth keeping. The other thing that he has here is the Pro Red Dot Sight with 19% critical hit damage, 4.5 optimal range, and 5.5 headshot damage. This is a little bit of a sleeper, so this is probably the best high critical hit damage mod that you can buy this week. So check it out if you need it. Now in Autumn's Hope, there's a pretty nice performance mod that I thought I'd share with you guys. This performance mod has 5.5 first aid self heal. Now these things, I don't know, maybe it's just for me, they're a little bit hard to come by. So if you need some self heals, if you're a bit of a lone wolf, or if you're trying to keep yourself alive running a glass cannon, this is a pretty nice thing to have, especially if you're running with an electronics build or slightly electronics build to keep yourself alive, since stamina is not really what it used to be. This is probably one of my higher recommendations. It's probably going to go under the radar for a lot of people, but definitely it is something worth checking out. So go ahead and take a look at that. In the Wolves Den, there's a pretty nice little suppressor for people who may be looking. The TI Rant suppressor with 6.5 critical hit chance, 4% critical hit damage, 2.5 stability, and 48% reduced threat. If you're looking for something like this, you need a little bit more crit chance and slightly more damage, then this could keep you off the radar with that reduced threat. Just something to throw out there for the people who are looking to stay off the radar and still do a little bit of damage. Now at Camp Hudson, since I really wasn't a fan of the M700 being sold in the base, we have an M700 Tactical. Yes, I know this is not the Carbon, but this does have some pretty nice talents on it, so I thought I would throw it out there just in case somebody wanted to try it out. It only costs regular credits anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Now the headshot damage on it is 161. The base damage with this character is 140. The talents on it we have are harmful, deadly, and elevated. So if you want to get rid of either deadly or harmful, then you're more than welcome to do so, or you could even get rid of elevated if you don't like playing the high stay away game. But this does have some pretty decent talents on it. None of them are horrible. Harmful is probably the weakest one out of the three, but definitely something that you can play around with if you do like sniping. And there are a lot of stuff going on with sniper. I guess sniper is in mind for the gear that's being sold, especially with gloves and stuff and marksman damage. So take a look. This week is gonna have a lot of stuff for snipers and marksmen, so you might as well make the most of it. At East 61st Street, way up in DZ8, they got a whole bunch of mods that you guys may want to take a look at. We've got a large suppressor with 18% critical hit damage, optimal range accuracy, and 41% reduced threat. If you're looking for a muzzle for larger weapons, maybe not something like the MP7, but something a bit larger, then this may be something that could work out for you with 18%. Now moving on, we have the 5.52 hollow sight with 7.5% critical hit chance, 4.5 optimal range, and 5.5% headshot damage. If you need anything like this, then these are some pretty decent ones to look at. They're not the cream of the crop and they're not the best of the best, but they will get you through until you find something better. So if you need these, go ahead and check them out. Moving down into East 58th Street's vendor, we've got a few things. Now we got a Spec Ops mask here with Enduring. It has a 3.5% crit hit chance, blind, deaf, resist. Not the strongest out of the things that are being sold here. The chest piece I don't really recommend just because it has forceful, although it does have 9% skill haste and 51% ammo capacity. But the armor roll on it is a little bit weak. The bag having 1283 armor and 12,347 health looks attractive, and it also has 16% bleed resistance. It's a specialized bag, so that's a very popular type of bag to have. The operator's knee pads are actually pretty decent. The armor on them at 1578 isn't so bad. You get headshot kills, grant credits. Knee pads never really had good talents on them, so you get what you get. The health on it is 15,354, comes with disrupt resistance, and then the bleed and burn resistance at 31 and 30 respectively. Now the Gunslinger's holster is straight trash. I wouldn't even recommend it, although it does have 6% skill haste, but that is a bit low. And then moving on to the gloves, you have 922 armor, and they are Savage gloves with 4,586 marksman rifle damage and 14% critical hit damage and 6% crit hit chance. So again, as I talked about earlier, there's a lot of stuff that has some marksman rifle damage bonuses on them. So you know, if you're planning on playing marksman or sniper, then this week there's quite a few things for you to look at and play around with for maybe a new build. In West 53rd Street, there is an MP7 being sold, and I thought I'd throw that out there. Even though, you know, this isn't the absolute strongest, I have an MP7 with about 20.1 or 20.2 base damage. This one has 19.1. The crit hit chance isn't too far off from being pretty good at the best at 21.5. The talents on it are Commanding, Talented, and Adept. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Commanding, but talented could work out if you are running a skill build. If you're running a skill build and you have adept, that means you get more crit chance. You probably want to put deadly on where commanding is, and that may work out pretty well for you. Now the rest of the stuff, there's a tactical vest with forceful. Again, forceful not really my favorite, but a little more well, it has actually less skill haste than the last one. Nothing really with this mod. And this mod, well, if you need more stability, you get a muzzle brake with 13.5 and 5.5 headshot damage with 4.5 optimal range. In East 46th Street, there's a pretty decent pair of knees being sold. These are some operator knee pads with Prosperous. Again, armor on it is 1447, this time with skill power. If you need skill power, this may be a nice pair to have with 13,300. And the good thing is that it has bleed resistance and burn resistance, and also has blind deaf if you need it. Now there's also a stamina mod that has 260 stamina points, plus it has 1% crit hit chance, not the best. And then you have an Omega rifle suppressor with 18.5 headshot damage, 2.5 stability, and 4% critical hit damage. And you also get 45% reduced threat. This is not a bad muzzle to have on maybe a sniper rifle. Again, we're going back to stuff that may help out snipers, and 18.5% headshot damage is not bad, plus that crit hit damage is pretty good. Unfortunately, crit chance is not there. That would have been the trifecta, but it is what it is. Now at East 40th Street, we've got a pretty decent little AUG over here. The crit hit chance is not the best at 19.5. The base damage is okay at 23.1 with this character, but the talents are what we're looking at today, with responsive, predatory, and meticulous. Now with SMGs, responsive is always very welcome for all of them because you have to get in close. Predatory, I think as of late, has been a little bit underrepresented. Not too many people are talking about it, but getting your health to regenerate 35% of your health over 20 seconds is something to think about, especially if you're running PvE content. Meticulous, killing a target gives you 25% chance of instantly refilling the magazine. That means you're shooting more, killing more, getting more health, and you're all up in the face of the enemy. It's not a bad role, to be honest, but I'm sure some people will shit all over it. But I think it's decent at the very least, and maybe even something fun to try out if you haven't used this combination before. And another side note is Meticulous does not use bullets in your stash, so they're free bullets that you get, and that is pretty nice. Now moving on, don't really like the knee pads. I'm not a huge fan of this electronics mod just because I like it over 250, but 253 is not bad, plus 3% skill haste. Skill haste has been something that everybody's been looking for, so you definitely want to go and check this out. And if you have the DZ credits, and if you're running electronics, this could work out very, very well for you. Now the reflex sight has 7% crit hit chance, 6% headshot damage, and 2.5 stability. Unfortunately, it doesn't have crit damage, otherwise that would have been an amazing roll. But yeah, you still do want crit damage as your main instead of crit chance, but if you're using it on something like an assault rifle, that may work out well for you anyway. Now in DC6, going through the vendor, we have the Banshee Shadow Mask with 3.5% critical hit chance, disorient, resist. The base firearms at 1263 is pretty good. The mask armor at 881, not the best, but it's still not the worst. The final measure chest piece has 8% skill haste, all resist, not a huge fan of, but it does have some pretty decent armor on it at 1920. The Deadeye Go Bag with some skill power and ammo capacity is always nice. The armor on it is decent at 1301. The electronics roll on it is a little bit low. You may have to do something about that. The firearms knee pads, 30% burn resist, 33% shock resist. Armor at 1508 is okay, it's pretty acceptable, but the major attribute being all resistance is kind of a in my book it would probably be a no-go. I don't think I could do that. The Banshee Shadow Holster, none of the rolls are even above 1200, so that's a definite no-no. The Reclaimer gloves, again, marksman in the house, this time with 5% crit hit chance and 7% enemy armor damage. I would not really recommend this, but you know, if you're running Reclaimer, you're probably not running with a sniper rifle anyway, so you guys probably already knew that. Alright, we're at our final stop at DZ9, taking a look at some of the gear set armors that are being sold. We have the Sentry's Call Mask. This thing has 6.5 enemy armor damage. The armor on it at 944 is not too bad. We have the Tactician Authority Vest. The health roll on it is pretty damn nice at 16,645. The armor on it is also very respectable at 1,995, and it comes with ammo capacity. Plus it comes with health on kill. I would probably want to roll health on kill to skill haste. If it had skill haste, this thing would be the god roll, but unfortunately that stamina roll on it at 1150 is quite shit, so you're probably going to want to do something about that. Now the Final Measure backpack has a nice little bit of skill. This and the other Final Measure upcoming are both skill related, so if you're running a skill build with Final Measure, you might find some nice stuff up here at 1138 with the backpack. It could be a little bit better for armor, but it's not too bad. It also comes with bleed resist. I know a lot of PvP people like that. Having Final Measure knee pads, another skill power major attribute. This one comes with shock resistance, blind death, and increased kill XP. The armor on it isn't too bad at 1630. The holster is always going to be garbage for the most part, and the Tactician's Authority gloves, why they have marksman rifle damage on them I have no idea, but they do, and they come with 7.5% enemy armor damage, 16% critical hit damage, and the armor on it is 960. Now the electronics roll on it will need to be re-rolled since it's only 1167, but it is not too bad. You're just gonna have to re-roll that if you are running a marksman tactician. Now moving on to the last little bit in DZ9, right down the stairs, we've got the guy selling the extended magazine. This is pretty much the only somewhatly decent extended magazine, and it's not even that great. It's all right at 118.5. It comes with 2.5 crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, so it could have been better in the chance department, and the magazine size could have been a little bit better, but this is, again, like I said, probably the only extended magazine that's really being sold this week we're talking about. So hope you guys like that one, and that is pretty much it and gonna do it for me. This is actually my second time running through all of this for you guys. I had some computer issues, everything got corrupted. If you saw my Twitter, I posted right after I gotten done with everything, and everything just kind of went bad. Right now it is 1:28 in the morning. I'm still at it and still trying to do this and get this out for you guys. Hopefully it's not too late. And some of you OGs that have been holding down the channel, I'm sure you guys are watching this video, and salute to you. This has been a really rough week with this computer, but the good news is that computer is probably not going to be around too much longer, and it's going to be time for a super upgrade. So I hope you guys enjoy this last good or garbage that I've done with the laptop. So I hope you guys stick around and let me know in the comment section what you did pick up, if you did pick up anything for this week. And on that note, I'm gonna try to hurry up and render this and get this up on the internet. So let me know what you guys think, and remember to hit that like button if you do appreciate this. It would help me out a lot. And if you're new, please remember to subscribe. I'll try to have this stuff out a lot sooner next week. But until then, I am Khan, Mr. So Real. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Huh.